Instagram is automatically sharing my location and trying to invite people to murder me. Negronis with Nord, episode 110. We're going to jump right into all of the new Instagram launches, some more successful than others. In the last week, Instagram has rolled out a few new features, and there was a couple questions on them. I'm just going to go through and rate them, maybe, and give my take. First, Reposts gives you the ability to repost content into the timeline. It shows up in the timeline saying, you know, Aaron reposted this, James reposted this. It's like a slightly more passive way to share a post or a reel than by doing it in your stories. There was a bunch of talk about it copying TikTok, which has had this feature for a while. I actually don't know that that's the problem. I think one is that people were doing a lot of resharing reels and posts in their stories with no commentary. I wonder if part of it is to keep stories more engaging and interesting. You're going to only repost something to your stories if you have something to say about it. If you don't have anything to say about it, you can just hit the repost button. And so it'll keep stories feeling a little more fresh, a little more customized. It also gives an interesting new public metric to look at. You know, if you can see posts that get tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I'm sure eventually millions of reposts, similar to when they started tracking the shares. It gives you something else to feel bad about. I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10. Look, I'm always happy for Instagram to be doing new things, trying new things. I think it's a little duplicative of stories. I don't know how it's going to turn out and how much usage there will be. Bravo to them. I'm not one to kill innovation. We'll give it an 8 out of 10. Number 2, Instagram map, location sharing. People lost their fucking shit over this.
Come on, just share your location. Come on. We're not gonna do anything with it.
I used it because I was always interested to test anything, so I turned it on. I got a DM from a concerned follower being like, your location is being shared. You could be murdered. And there was a lot of backlash over safety concerns, parents freaking out. I think state's attorney generals were talking about how dangerous this feature was. One, it's turned off by default. You have to go in and turn the feature on. I think some people saw their stories and posts show up on a map and got freaked out, but that's just pulling in the literal location tag that you put in. There's no added danger. If you tag your location and it puts it on a map, it's no different than your location just being tagged. Now, whether or not you want to share your location with people, that's up to you. Again, it is a choice. I think there's a valid question around who Meta should be giving that choice to, and how should there be age restrictions to be able to be sharing your location. I also think it's kind of interesting to look at stuff on a map. I think if you're a little bored, it's a different way to consume content. You know, you could let's say you're sitting in your cubicle and you want to take a trip to Italy. You can just scroll on over to Italy and see who's there or who's posted content there recently. So I think that's kind of interesting. We're going to have to give it a 4 out of 10. The launch was not handled well. Most of what people think and know of it is Instagram is automatically sharing my location and trying to invite people to murder me. Difficult launch there for Instagram. Another is the friend tab in Reels. I'm gonna give this one a 2 out of 10. I don't even know, does anyone use the Reels tab? You do? Okay, I
love seeing what my friends have liked. Instead of them DMing you these things,
right,
you get to sort of see what it is without them contacting you.
I think that's interesting, and I'm all for talking to your friends less. I just think the Reels tab inside of Instagram is a little broken. I think most people navigate Reels by either their Explore page or they're just in the app and they end up in Reels and then they're scrolling. I think the idea that you're hitting the Reels tab and then you're going to this slightly grayed out thing that says friends and you're clicking friends and scrolling through there. I actually didn't really know it existed. I was just doing some research. I played with it. To Aaron's point, it is kind of interesting. It shows you which friend liked it. For anyone out there liking thirst trap reels, look, you can like the thirst trap reels all you want. I would say to anyone in a relationship, you should watch your thirst trap liking. There are some men, I'm going to single out men explicitly because I think they're prone to being dumb. I think there's some men here who are going to have some embarrassing shit show up for their coworkers and friends and loved ones.
I think that's far more invasive than the maps stuff.
The friends, yeah, it is pretty wild. Having only just learned about it, maybe I will spend a lot more time and I will revise my rating. I'm going to revise the rating right now. 2 out of 10 because I think the Reels tab is stupid and sucks. Inside the Reels tab, pure product, like chaos, meta just going goblin mode, we'll give it an 8 out of 10 for just total chaos engineering. Something in development, this is in a prototype stage. It is not released yet. It's called Picks. So Instagram is basically working on a feature called Picks where you can list your favorite TV shows, movies, books, games, music, etc. And then it's going to find users who have similar things. We're back to Facebook interest and likes, people. That is being tested. It's not rolled out yet. Would you all use it? Would you like it? They're going after Letterboxd maybe and Goodreads and all of that. I actually appreciate any way to try and broaden what's in our algorithm and connect with people who have similar interests of ours and not just watch meme slop. So I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10 Instagram. I am ready to throw Moby Dick in my books list 1 through 10 and see who else I can connect with out there who's a Moby Dick fan.
Are they also going to try to rope in Substack at some point?
They already have the micro blogging platform nobody uses on Instagram. Guides. They're not going to put a dent in Substack. They might try and do something, but they have subscriptions. Those didn't work. They have the guides for long form content that didn't work. If you're a product company, you should be launching shit that doesn't work all the time. You should be trying new things all the time. TikTok, nothing new. Interestingly, they have not had any product innovations recently. So we'll keep an eye out. Those are the innovations. Those are the scores. Let me know if you disagree, if you agree in the comments.
Create with Love 2280 asked about the repost feature. Is this a return of Tumblr-style fave curations?
A question about the reposts. Are we re-entering a Tumblr-style fave curation? How should creators be using reposts? It's a really interesting question. I think it's so dissimilar from Tumblr. I think Tumblr was just from such a different era. It's hard to even it's hard to compare the two. Also, reblogging, a big part of reblogging was commenting on it and adding your own take. And you would see other people's takes in the reblog, right? So interesting to me that the repost feature on Instagram does not include a way to put your spin take comment on it, because it also works very, very well on Twitter with the quote tweets. Interesting how the feature has not built any of those network effects in. How should creators be using it? This is going to be a great way for people with really big platforms to share that platform a bit, share causes that they like, share brands that they're trying to uplift. It is a way to give a bit of your reach, especially since it's in feed. Stories only get about 5 or 6% viewership from your following, right? So 100,000 followers, maybe 5,000 people are seeing your stories. Whereas if you're a high performing creator, you might be getting 30, 40, 50% viewership on your posts. So by reposting it, I don't yet know the effect on the algorithm. I'm sure it is less than an original post from the creator, but I wonder if it's more than 5%. So if it's more than 5%, you are giving more of your following up to this post, which is potentially super interesting for brands, interesting for causes and things that you want to shine light on or celebrate or whatever, right? So it'll be interesting to see how brands use it. I assume that would start to get really curated. It would be interesting as a fashion brand to go into their repost and see just a bunch of great creator and community content around the brand. It's almost like a way to get this this total curated community view. So I could see people using it as kind of a public saved or Pinterest, right? It would be kind of interesting as a creator to be hey, go to my reposts. I repost all of my fashion inspo into my reposts page. And it gives you this other place to curate more intentionally. Yeah, and I think we'll see some creative uses of it. Okay, last question is Labubu. I think in a world of rising radicalism, fascism, and hate, a hanging, ugly stuffed animal that you put on your purse is maybe a welcome distraction. Of course, I think they are stupid and hideous. Of course, I think they are an embarrassment that we will all laugh about. I just saw a quote from an ex-Vogue editor, I think, where she said that she was talking about how sometimes it's really exciting to have bad taste, that like bad taste is sometimes better than no taste. Not sometimes. Bad taste is better than no taste. And really what is offensive is having absolutely no taste. And I think in an overly curated world full of like algorithmically driven taste, we need something ugly and stupid and ridiculous sometimes. Go through the history of fashion and accessories and things, and like we had Jinko jeans, right? So I wore a metal studded belt in college. Listen, we have all made embarrassing choices. A sign of good taste actually is the ability to have explicitly bad taste sometimes and do it unapologetically. And I think that's what the Labubu is, and I think we should celebrate it. I would
Get one?
obviously never get one, nor allow one in my home. But listen, these are personal choices that you can make on your own. As always, ask us questions. We will answer them. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
For the final, do you want to talk us through this suit?
Yes, well, I've wanted the green suit for a long time. My mom always says that green brings out my eyes, and it's important to listen to your mother. So we have a green, I don't know, it probably has an actual name. Let's call it green. It's some kind of linen. It's a stiffer linen. My brown suit, Aaron will put up, is a silk linen, so it doesn't get the like classic linen wrinkles. But that's like part of the look of linen, actually, is getting it a little crumpled and a little messy. So this is a super stiff, unlined suit from my friends at J Muser. Obviously, it's fantastic. I will say, towards the end of summer here, I am ready to put the linens away. I am ready to switch to the fall suits. I am ready to really start dressing people. Fall is coming. We can feel it in the air. But it's nice to have a new summer suit.
Good choice by your mom.
Yes.